evening, boys and girls. Welcome back for Expeditions. Peter and I thought maybe we should help decorate our wall a little bit. Peter wanted to add a friend here to the wall. So Peter's going to go ahead and do that while we talk. And what have you boys and girls been up to? Have you been enjoying this warm weather that we've been having? Oh, that's getting up there pretty high, Peter. Peter, let me help you out there. Your word of the night, boys and girls, help. Listen up as Pastor Josh tells you about helping.
All right, well, welcome back to Wednesday Night Expeditions. I hope you guys have had a good couple weeks of summer already. Just wanted to remind you that we are doing our several animal lessons. Okay, last week we talked about the snake. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the elephant. And I want to address the elephant in the video today. That would be my eye. You're probably looking and saying, what is wrong with your eye? Well, those of you who were here on Sunday already know that I was kind of playing basketball, and because of my wonderful gift of height, my eye is at everybody else's shoulder level. So I was playing basketball and someone ran into me and I got a nice black eye. It'll probably still be here next week as well. So just forget about it. I know it's kind of glaring and obvious, but just forget that it's there and we'll keep going. As they mentioned, our word of the night tonight is help. We're going to look at another animal. This week's lesson and next week's lessons are going to be animal lessons as well. This one is an interesting animal. When you think of animals that help, you might think of ones that are at the zoo and you've seen them working together as a family, but this animal might not come to mind right away. It's kind of small, though some of them can be as large as a cat. Most of them are pretty small. They fly, but they're furry. Can you think of a furry animal that flies? And I'm not talking about a flying squirrel, okay? So think on it. What is a furry animal that flies? Have you thought of it yet? You may also use it when you play baseball, which is a different type of word. You got it? Yes, it's a bat. We're going to look at a bat today. All right? Some of you guys think when you think of bat, all you can think of is like Batman, all right, and the Dark Knight, okay? But Batman, okay, the bat, okay, is the symbol. That's that word we're going to talk about tonight. A bat. What do you guys know about bats? Some of you may think that they're scary because they come out at night. Some of you might think they're kind of cool because they're furry. Some of you may think they're kind of weird because they eat insects. But we're going to look at how they are very good at helping each other. So here's some pretty cool random facts about bats. Did you know that there is over 1,100 different kinds of bats? We think of bats, we think of just like one shape, one size, one thing, but there are lots of different types of bats in the world that God created. The biggest bat's the size of a small cat, okay? The smallest ones are about the size of a bumblebee. That's a giant size difference. How many babies do you think a bat can have in 1 year? If you guessed a high number, you're actually wrong. It's actually only one. And when that baby is born, it actually clings on and holds on to its mommy. Now, if you can imagine her trying to have more than one baby holding on at once, that'd be very difficult to fly. So bats only have one baby each year. Something I bet you know about bats is that they don't have very good eyesight, and they actually fly about using what is called echolocation. Maybe you guys have been outside before and you were out in an area and you tried to make an echo, 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 echo. And you tried to get it to echo and bounce back, all right? Maybe you're playing Marco Polo with your friends, okay? And you're trying to listen and hear when they're splashed around in the pool, trying to figure out how far away they are. That's kind of what bats do. They send out a noise and they wait and they listen to see how long it takes that noise to bounce back. They use it kind of like we would use radar. Sound goes out, bounces back, and they're able to figure it out, how far away something is. Bats, when they are in a cave or when they're hiding out in trees, they actually sleep upside down, dangling from their feet. Now, I liked growing up hanging from monkey bars and hanging on in trees and throwing my legs over and trying to hang on, but I would always, when I would hang there, like the blood would rush to my head and my face would get bright red, okay, and I have to flip back over, stand back upright, and let all the blood drain back down. But bats actually hang out upside down because it allows them to fly and get away very quickly. How old do you think bats get? Well, more than likely for you kids out there, they live to be older than you are right now. But they don't quite live as old as Pastor Josh. Most bats live to be about 20 years old, though some can live to be even older. Do you know what one of some bats' favorite food is? And if you ask me, I think they should eat them all and get rid of them. Some bats love to eat mosquitoes. Now, some of you are the favorite food of mosquitoes because mosquitoes like to suck your blood, but many bats love to eat mosquitoes. A certain type of bat, the brown bat, can eat over 1,000 mosquitoes in a single hour. That is a lot of food really quickly. Now, for you, if you were to try to eat 1,000 mosquitoes, it wouldn't be much food. But for a bat that's much smaller than you, that's a lot to try to catch. I don't know if you've ever watched the mosquito fly around, land on your arm, and try to smack it, try to stop it from sucking your blood. I can't imagine trying to catch 1,000 of those things in just 1 hour. But bats are amazing creatures. A small colony of bats can eat over 1 ton, over 2,000 pounds of insects. And insects don't weigh very much, so 1 ton of insects is a lot of insects. Okay, more than 600 million of them in a single year. Most bats feed on insects, however, some eat other things. Some like fruit, okay, the fruit bat likes fruit. Some actually eat frogs. Some eat rodents. Some drink nectar. They don't actually eat animals of any kind, but they eat nectar. Some will even eat small fish, and a few would even eat blood. I bet you can try to think of the name of the one type of vampire that eats blood. It's called the vampire bat. Vampire bats adopt orphaned bats and care for them if their mother dies. So they look out and they see, okay, is there a baby bat that is struggling because it's lost its mommy? It'll actually go and adopt that bat and raise it as its own. They will go and take care of the sick and old bats in their colony. They'll bring back extra food in order to help those orphan and elderly and sick bats. Fruit bats have an amazing job. They go out and eat a lot of fruit, and then they plant the seeds and their droppings all over the place. It's estimated that 95% of the new forests that are growing around the world are being planted by bats. And last thing to learn about bats, how many miles do you think they can fly in one single night? Now remember, bats for the most part are pretty small. How far can they travel in a single night? It's actually kind of surprising. Bats can travel up to 250 miles in just one night. 250 miles in a single night. If you were to get on your car, jump on the highway, and drive 250 miles in your car, it would take you over 3 hours. Okay, it would take you probably closer to 4 hours to drive 250 miles. That means that bat's moving pretty quickly, and actually they can fly. That little bat can fly up to 60 miles an hour. They can fly up to 10,000 feet. That's up where airplanes fly. That is an amazing creature that God has created. So we're talking about bats. Mostly we want to look at how they can be helpful. Do you remember what I said about bats that makes them helpful? I bet you do remember. Bats are helpful because they look out for those in their colony that need help. Those that are orphaned without parents, those that are sick, and those that are elderly. And those bats look and see, hey, how can we help them? How can we bring them food? How can we protect them? How can we keep them warm? Those are things that the bats are looking out to see how they can help. And we, as humans, as Christians especially, need to do the same thing. We need to have our eyes opened, looking to see who we can help. Maybe it's an older person at church. You see them trying to carry something. Maybe there's a meal at church that day and you see an older person bringing in their food and you're like, hey, can I help you carry that? Maybe it's grabbing and running and quickly opening the door for someone. Maybe it's you see a younger kid at church and they're trying to tie their shoe and you go up and you help them. How can you look for ways to help people? You know the people that probably need the most help? Mom and dad. Around your house, as you look around and see how you can help people, look to see how you can help mom and dad. Maybe it's just simply making sure your room is clean. Maybe it's when you're playing in the living room that you remember to pick up your toys. That way when mom or dad are carrying something to the house and it's big and they can't see, they don't accidentally step on one of your Legos. I know from experience that stepping on a Lego hurts a lot. So think, how can I help mom and dad? How can I prepare things? How can I get things ready? Maybe it's you have a younger sibling. You're going to watch them and make sure that they're staying out of trouble while mom and dad are working on something else. Maybe it's doing your regular chores of unloading the dishwasher and putting the dishes away, or washing the dishes, or taking out the trash, making your bed. Finding ways that you can help mom and dad around the house. We can be just like bats and look for ways that we can help others. But as we help others, one other thing we want to remember is when a bat goes and helps an orphan or helps an elderly bat or helps a sick bat, it doesn't wait around and try to get everyone else to notice, hey, look what I'm doing, look what I'm doing, look at me, look at me, look at me. The same thing, when we go out to help and go out of our way to help, don't be like, okay, mom, dad, yeah, it was Johnny's week to take out the garbage, but I took out the garbage instead. Can I have his allowance? No, we're not doing it to be recognized. We're not doing it to be noticed. We're doing it because we want to serve and we want to help. So I challenge you this week, as you're going through your week, try to find ways, especially at home, that you can help mom